Sekai voice.
Sekai voice.
I like the taxis.
Both like very technological, but there's also some parts that are not that technological.
The benefits of higher taxes, you can notice them.
Sekai voice. Jukka, 48. I'm an engineer. I work in a construction area. I'm a telecommunication engineer. I design low voltage systems for the buildings. Well, it's not my first time in Japan. I was here like year 2000 and 2002, and I think Japan have changed at that time, and also me. Well, yen is very low cost at the moment, and it's very cheap to travel in Japan at the moment because euro and dollar is quite strong, so everything is quite I wouldn't say cheap, but it's like well, there's of course like economics in Finland is we are struggling because part of the reason is the Ukrainian war, and it's we don't have any trade with the Russians anymore, and it also affects our economy. How do you say it? Not we are not in a war at the moment, but pretty close because of the Russians. So it's worrying times, but you never know what's going to happen. I wouldn't trust Trump at all. He only makes deals that with what are good for America, so he don't care about Europe or Ukraine or things like that. He just cares money. Education and is free for everybody, and also some healthcare is very good in the Scandinavian countries. You don't have to pay anything for the healthcare or drugs or anything like that. So you don't, not like America, you don't need like a high cost insurance so you can manage by your. So, but it's true that taxes are pretty high. Like some people pay almost half their salary for the taxes. Well, I like the taxis. I like. Yeah, I think so, because if it's like a balancing the economic state of the different kind of people. So state is like that where there is a lot of like really poor people and very rich people. Those countries don't usually work that well, but if the economic level is quite balanced, it's much better for everybody. I'm not talking about communism or anything like that. Well, I think it's same as Japan. Like there is like I wouldn't say a lot of mental issues, but there is like mental issues in Finland, especially in winter time when it's cold and dark and not much to do than stay inside perhaps, and people get depressed. But Finland has been like most happily people in the world for at least for 10 years. I don't know why, but I guess people are happy, so I don't know. AI is gonna be a big thing, of course. Not just like it's gonna cause a lot of new careers, but also employment. I think, like in Japan, also in Finland, people are generally getting older and how do you say, birth rate is very low also in Europe and Finland and also in Japan, and it's going to be hard to find new taxpayers in the future. So we have to figure out how to make our society more efficient, working better with less people or something like that.
Sekä voice.
My name is Johan. I am 24. I'm a student. I'm studying pharmaceutical sciences at the University of Copenhagen in Denmark.
My name is Oliver. I'm an intern working here, and back in Denmark I study economics.
And yeah, everything seems to be moving very fast as well, compared to Denmark, where it's more slow and chill and life is more spread out. I like that we in Denmark have a lot of individuality. I feel like Denmark, and especially, but also Western countries in general. I feel like people express themselves differently back home. I don't really know how, but it's just I get this feeling like there's more individuality in Denmark compared to Japan. Not that it's necessarily a good or a bad thing, just like a different thing.
I think there's a little bit more of doing stuff for the greater good, the community here, than back home, where it's a little bit more like
People are more, I don't know,
egoistic maybe.
but yeah, both in a good and a bad way.
So people, it's okay to be a bit more strange and unique maybe, but people may also be a little bit more egoistic.
Yeah.
Seems like implementing like a platform kind of like we have back home would solve a lot of issues with like too much paperwork and stuff like that.
I was a bit surprised that Japan is both like very technological, but there's also some parts that are not that technological. So you have you have Tokyo with like all these crazy lights and technology, and then you have like companies still using fax, and places where you can only pay in cash and stuff like
that's
that.
like unheard of in Denmark.
There's many places where you can only pay by card.
Yeah.
I also think it has some charm that there's some like contrast between like the highly technological and the older traditional Japan.
My name is Matthias. I'm a director of administration at a water plant to making water for a city. So I'm very interested in your water and sewage system. The western southwest, Gothenburg. Yeah, so we went with a Swedish company that organizes special tours in Tokyo. Yeah, but the trip has nothing to do with the business. It's just pleasure, yeah. I'm just curious when I'm sitting here looking, how do you get a city like this to work every day? Oh, it's pretty. I think Sweden is a very good country, but as far as safety on the streets during night and in the middle of the city, I feel more safe here. So I don't think it's a problem, but otherwise I feel very safe in my country too. So, but here is something I think you have a courtesy to each other, and it seems like you have a low criminality. That it's your society works in a little bit different way than ours. But I feel quite comfortable with the Swedish society. We have equality between the genders. We have the possibility to send our kids to kindergarten, so my wife can work and I can work. So we have a lot of the shootings between gangs, especially in the big cities. It's a drug war, you can almost say. That's a big thing. But the real big issues is climate changes, and for me it's also the war in Ukraine, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. That's something that changes the whole security in our area of Europe. Yes, I'm very happy with that. We have a we have been having a social democratic party in power for many years, and they build the secure social security system, but it's been with high taxes. But it's been accepted among the population that we pay high taxes, but we get back social security, education, healthcare. So it's a balance. It's a high acceptance for paying high taxes for everybody to get a good social security system. So I'm happy with that. As far as the state uses the money efficient, and everybody get the right to education, social security, healthcare. So I'm happy with that. Yes, of course, high taxes that it can be hard to motivate you to work extra, because if you work extra, you pay more tax. So it can be hard for sometimes, and especially if you see that the government isn't working efficient with the money. Then it can be frustrating to have high taxes. But as long as the system is working, and I think and everybody gets something out of it, I can accept it.
My name is Magnus. In Japanese, you would say Magnus. I am 22. Right now, I don't do anything. I was waiter before, server, restaurant, work at restaurant. Yes, Copenhagen. So the main city. Lots of different types of cuisine in Denmark. We Danish food is not that big of a thing. So we have a lot of French food, Italian food, fruits from around the world, also Japanese fruit.
My name is Lage. I'm 22 as well. I work in a cafe.
Because we think Japan is very interesting, very nice country. We would like to explore the culture here. The culture here is very different from Denmark, where we come from. So, and I actually have a plan on studying Japanese next year. We have a university in Denmark that offers Japanese as a study. Well, I like a lot of manga and anime. Attack of Titan is, of course, a masterpiece. I also very like, one of the first one I watched was Sword Art Online. Actually, the first anime I watched was Food Wars, Shokugeki no Soma. That's also because I love food very much. I also cook myself, and I love food, so an anime about food is very good. No, I wouldn't say so. It doesn't feel weird, but I would say that like Western and European culture picks a lot up from Japanese culture. Yeah, I think we are very inspired by Japanese culture in some ways in the Western. But I also think that many people in like Europe and stuff like that are quite intimidated by Japanese culture, especially anime and manga culture. A lot of people where I come from think it's weird. Like, oh, that's some weird stuff. Especially in some places in Denmark, you can get bullied for watching anime and manga. Yeah, but I think that's silly. People should open their eyes to good culture. Well, I would say the worst experience can be that maybe Japanese people can be a bit closed, a bit like reserved. So we feel a bit like I wouldn't say not welcome, but Japanese people are not, that good to like be open-minded against us. So sometimes we feel a bit like dumb tourists. You know what I mean? But it's okay. I can understand. It's the culture here. People are like really, very shy, and they have their private thing going, and I like that as well. But as a tourist, where we come from in Denmark, people are very outgoing and just speaking their mind and speaking to each other in public and stuff like that. So that's a big difference from Denmark and Japan.
Maybe the same, that sometimes you feel a little clumsy as a tourist, and you're trying to do the right thing and stand the right places. So it can be a little bit tricky. Not to do something wrong.
Yeah, we love Denmark. Yeah, Denmark is a very it's one of the safest countries you can live in, and we have a cool like education system, and we have a tax system that ensures that we always have free healthcare. We always can go to the hospital if something happens. We always like secure. Yeah, we have high tax. Yeah. Almost 50% of our Yeah, I think it's fine because like every people in Denmark pays the same. Not all the actually the rich people, those who make the most money, they pay the most tax. But because we all pay tax and we pay that high tax, it just ensures that we have a lot of things in our society that just flows because everyone is like paying money to that.
I think also that everything is well, I think I have the same opinion. Because you can go to school for free and take a long education for free, and you get money from the state when you're studying. So it's really easy to get to learn something new.
My name is Laura. I am 35. I am a nurse. My country, I come from Venezuela, South America. It's a Caribbean country. The weather is very different. We have a lot of political and economic problems right now. So it's like a dictatorship, and it's not really good. So many people have moved out the country. In my case, I am living in Europe. Oh, I think it's true. It's possible. It's possible to. It's easier if you have a job and economic stability, so you can travel often. I think that helps. Even it's like a high price, like you pay a lot of taxes. You see it in the country. The health insurance, the education, everything works better. Coming from a country that you don't pay taxes, for example, in Venezuela, you don't pay taxes and nothing works. Like it's worth to pay taxes, even it's high price, but you see in the city. No, because it's very difficult in Venezuela to live right now. You can't live there because of the political and economical situation. There are a lot of people leaving in the country because there is no money, there is no food, or there is food, but it's really, really expensive to live there. Maybe like sometimes for an immigrant, like people who don't are born there, you came there, it can be a bit difficult to integrate to the culture or to be part of the. Sometimes I think it depends more because of the culture. I come from South America. We are more open. We are more social. Yeah, they are more. Not cold, they're very social, but within their group.
Alvin, 22, study science. Well, higher tax rates should, in theory, give a higher investment to infrastructure and like other social system. Like we have low prices for healthcare and all those sort of things, and like, well, in my experience, the high tax rates aren't really a problem. It doesn't influence my life thinking of how the income is lower since we have higher taxes. In my opinion, it doesn't really affect me, and the benefits of higher taxes, it feels like you can notice them. I don't think AI is going to do anything interesting in the 5 next years. AI isn't going to solve any large problem that we have. AI isn't going to take over anything. But the larger problem is corporations and the companies thinking AI will do this, pushing a lot of studies and research into developing AI, and that isn't a bad thing, but they thinking this will happen, they will try to make it happen when it isn't going to, in my opinion. So I don't think there really is any good tangible feedback. For my case, it's more of a just unconventional trust for the government. Like I trust the government to do the correct thing with the tax money. Like I know that there is potential for corruption and stuff like that, but I give them the benefit of the doubt that they're actually doing the good thing. And like the only thing I can prove that good tax rates are helping is look at countries that have like extremely low tax rates and see what benefits do they get. Well, they have higher income rates for individuals, but also higher costs for these infrastructure and public benefits. My context for Japan is that you have this trust. The country is very like polite in expecting trust and for example, like if the government changes something and the population is not satisfied, the government wants the trust of the people and like goes back on changes, and just generally being extremely polite of like, oh, we made a mistake, we'll go back on this.
Sick high voice. I'm a food scientist back home. I'm trying to create new green solutions. Yeah, so instead of using meat proteins, what other green alternatives can you use? We have a big issue of not getting soybeans. That's way too far away, so we're trying to find things in Europe that we can grow instead and use in vegetarian food options. I have to think about this because we don't have too many big social issues. We have a really good social security system, so nobody is really left behind. Like if you study, you get money. If you are unemployed, you get money. You get a lot of maternity leave. There is still an imbalance of female leaders in like bigger companies. It is still very male-based, but I think much less compared to the rest of Europe in general. We are pretty forward on gender social like structures in general. I think because we do have this really good like floor underneath us, like everybody can just go for their dreams because they always know they have something they can fall back on if it doesn't work the first time. If they want to be entrepreneurs, if they want to do something that's a little more crazy, they often have the opportunity to do it. So I think that's why the success rate is really high in Denmark in that regard. Yeah, you do get a lot of your money taken away because the taxes are pretty high. So like the lowest is 37%, I think, for taxes, and then if you earn a lot, they can become up to 50, which for some people are they don't really like that, which would make sense. It is a lot of money being taken away, but it's so you support other people being able to do what they do, of using your own money to do it. So some people don't like using all the money for everybody else. They wanted to use them for themselves, and that's probably a big downside. But I don't know. I do know you have a little more of a conservative approach to living in general. I think it's a more recent thing that people are like females in the workforce and not being like home and being responsible for keeping that up, doing all the groceries, doing all the things, and then the husband come home and everything else. We don't have that. It's much more everybody goes to work, and then it's a common unit making everything work. So maybe that's a thing why it could be feeling less successful.